Look, the weather does get colder in December. So how about let's go to somewhere indoors, somewhere tropical, and somewhere temperate for our top 3 in December. When it's cold outside, let's head indoors. An indoor national park? Well, yes, a park that's always in the mid-50s. Imagine that. There is such a place. It's called the Mammoth Cave National Park in Kentucky. Mammoth Cave National Park does have a pretty decent outdoor component, but let's face it, the main attraction here is the cave. And because it's indoors, you can visit Mammoth Cave any time of the year that you want. So why come here in December? Well, first of all, many national parks are out of reach because of the weather in December. But just as important, the number of visitors in December at Mammoth Cave is only 15% of the peak month of July. This makes it much easier to get the tour tickets that you need in order to get into the cave. The downside is that there aren't as many tours, so some of the more esoteric tours that require you to crawl on your hands and knees may not be available during December. So if you're one of those that wants to have an exotic cave tour where you crawl on your hands and knees and squeeze through little spaces, well, double check before you come to December. Those tours may not be available. However, for most people who just want to walk around the cave, well, December is a great time to visit. While there are no entrance fees going into the park, you do need tickets in order to get into the cave. And yes, there is a fee for the cave tours. Reservations are highly recommended, especially if you want to go on one of the earlier tours in the day. Mammoth is large. It is the longest cave in the world that we know of, at more than 400 miles that's been mapped. It's a dry cave in most places, which means that there's very little stalactite and stalagmite. There is a wet section, however, and it's part of the Domes and Dripstones tour. It is a short bus ride away from the visitor center. During the tours, at some point, the ranger with a lot of dramatization will turn off all the lights. Now you're in complete darkness. You literally cannot see the fingers right in front of your eyes. It is kind of creepy. Because you can't see, it really heightens the rest of your senses, like the sense of smell, the sense of hearing, and the sense of touch. If you want to do some stuff outdoors, the December weather is actually warm enough for you to do that. The average daytime temperature is 48 degrees. It may sound cold, but if you dress properly and because you're walking around, you really won't feel that cold. The Green River runs through the park, and there are many good trails in this park. For example, the Green River Bluffs Trail plus the Echo River Springs Trail form a nice 2+ mile loop right around the visitor center, and there are plenty of other trails in the park. Mammoth Cave is big, and because it's always 54 degrees inside, you can visit any time of the year that you want. In December, with fewer people and the weather outside tolerable for surface hiking, it is actually a great time to visit Mammoth Cave National Park. See the links to the full video and the blog post in the description box below. There are some national parks that are better to visit in December than in July, and Biscayne National Park is one of those places. In July, it's actually too hot and too buggy to visit Biscayne, but December is a wonderful time of the year to visit Biscayne National Park. The daytime high temperature at Biscayne in December is 68 degrees, which is great for lounging out on a boat or to go swimming in the warm waters off of Florida coast. Biscayne's visitor count is pretty constant through the year. December, while it's one of the busier months, it's really not that crowded. Biscayne is all about water. Just about all of the park is in the Atlantic Ocean. The main visitor center is on shore. However, there are a few keys or islands that you can visit offshore if you have a boat or a way to get there. There really isn't much to see unless you're out on a boat or in the water. Water activity is the main attraction here. You can go kayaking, sailing, snorkeling, diving, fishing. These are all great water activities. While you're out there on the water, You can get an up-close look at the mangroves and the seabirds. Make a visit to Elliott Key, Adams Key, and Boca Chica Key. There are many tours available, including tours from the visitor center. Unless you have your own boat, I highly recommend taking one of these tours. We took a sailing tour to Adams Key, and it was super relaxing, especially since we didn't have noisy motor on board, and it was just tranquil and serene as we glide through the water under wind power. In December, with cooler temperatures and less bugs, it's a great time to visit Biscayne. See the links to the full video and the blog post in the description box below. We've been to an indoor park, a water park in the tropics. How about if we go somewhere where the climate's temperate and it's just warm enough to visit in December? Let's go to Redwood National Park in Northern California. While the summertime is drier and warmer, December is still warm enough to visit, if you're willing to put up with some rain. The moisture actually makes the scene at Redwood National Park. A little mist and rain really gives this park the right character. It doesn't really rain hard most of the time, so a little drizzle and mist should not discourage you from visiting. The average high temperature is 55 degrees in December. Warm enough for hikers. You probably see a pattern from me by now. I like to pick the parks that have fewer people during a certain month, and Redwood is no exception. December sees about a quarter of the visitors as the peak month of July. You definitely will get some solitude on the trails as you wander through the huge trees, the ferns, and the moss. And you can very well be by yourself as you linger at the overlooks by the ocean, or as you comb the beach. Let's not forget the meadow and the elk. The giant redwood trees, some of the tallest in the world, is just awesome to view. You really have to see it in person to appreciate the size. Pictures and videos simply cannot do it justice. You have to be there to experience it. Redwood National Park is one of the top parks to visit in December, with fewer people and warm enough weather to wander around. See the description box below for the full video and the blog links. Many parks are inaccessible in December, but Mammoth, Biscayne, and Redwood are my top 3 parks to visit in December. We are on our way to visit all the national parks in the United States. Follow along by hitting the subscribe button below. Hit the notification bell so you know when a new video is released. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and please share it with everybody that you know.